And we're back with some more oxygen not included. And today it's going to be all about, well, not all about, but the main project is going to be making liquid oxygen and liquid hydrogen up here. But there's a few side projects you want to quickly get out of the way with. One is we want to put in some dirt storage right here so that we can get the dirt being brought to these more automated. It's just, otherwise it's very labor intensive for all of our duplicants running around putting dirt on all of these constantly. At the same time, I want to connect our power grid. Currently, we have two separate power grids. We have this power grid over here, which is running off these steam turbines and, well, some coal generators. I'd like to phase out the coal generators and just connect our two power spines together. Once we have those together, that means nuclear power will be our main source and be running everything, with a little bit extra coming from these steam turbines over here whenever they generate a bit of power. So we're also going to make a few minor changes to the power grid, and by that I mean we're switching to lead. We've got loads of lead we picked up on one of the planets, and I'd like to start using that more, well, a lot more basically, and replace some of the older stuff we've got. With that connected all the way through there, we've got one continuous power grid. I'm basically just going to go and replace all of the lead, all of these wires, which are a lot of cobalt, gold, stuff like that. We want to replace them all with lead because it's just cheaper. Also, we have a whole bunch of it lying around. We've still got about 80 tons even after all of that we've replaced so far. Give me just a few minutes here. By replacing the majority of our power wires with lead, we've saved up a bunch of resources in terms of copper and gold and a bunch of others. Yeah, that's going to be gold we're going to get out of that. At the same time, I need to put an overflow in my toilets. These things backed up one time, and yeah, I basically had two liquid tanks in here. They both filled up with polluted water from the overflow from the toilets. So I think we're going to get the overflow and pump it over here instead and dump it into our filtration to, you know, be fed back to us as oxygen and food and things like that. It'll be fine. That will take another minute. There we go. Don't have to worry about the toilets backing up again. That's most of our major problems sorted. As well as that, we've ground up most of our eggshells. We're down to... Actually, you know what? We can turn off the eggshells. That's golden. We'll sort out the rest later. We've got all of our eggshells done. That means when it comes to steel, we should be looking pretty amazing. Yep, we got 2.7 tons of lime. But no, not going to worry about it. We are going to start up here, and what we need to do is decide where our rocket silos are going to go. The reason being is we need 35 tiles. Let's see, yep, right there. We need to have 35 tile high rocket silos so that we can fit our hydrogen rockets in it. If we go any shorter than that, we won't be able to take full advantage of their height. After too much humming and hawing and trying to figure things out, I've decided to place the rocket platform right here. This places it exactly 35 tiles from the top of the map. So the rocket should be able to fit entirely inside there. As well as that, it is 9 tiles here. This is the full length of the rocket exhaust. And checking on a debug map, this won't affect our solar panel. So that's good. Downside, though, is there's actual backing here instead of just the vacuum of space, which means we're going to have to put something across here to stop the gas exhaust from overheating our solar panel somehow. That could be tricky. That I'm going to worry about later. For now, we're just going to get in the bare bones basics here, and then that'll give us a fair idea of where we want our liquid hydrogen and oxygen setup. Probably somewhere up here, so that we can feed it directly across into the fuel tanks. This is what the basics of our rocket is going to look like. We've got a hydrogen engine, 2 liquid fuel tanks, 1 liquid oxidizer tank, and then the spacefarer module. I put the spacefarer module up here on this one because, well, the steam from this is going to be incredibly hot. It will scald the absolute hell out of our dupes when they come out. Like, a little bit of scalding I might go with, but this is going to be super scalding, and whoa. Sparkle streaker buddy. I think tugboat, yeah, I think we should maybe get tugboat into an Atmos suit or get them back traveling around the Stair Map again. Is that all of our rockets back? No, one more to go. I think tugboats, yeah, I think we'll see tugboat at home for a moment. All duplicants reassigned to their suits. Rocket almost completed, which gives us a good idea of where we're going to need to put the liquid intakes. Right, I'm thinking right here is going to be where our oxygen our liquid facility is going to go. Now, this is going to be where we make our liquid oxygen and liquid hydrogen. Now, as you can see, it's not exactly a huge one. We don't really, like, if we were doing this much later in the game, we'd probably build a much larger one, but for now, we just need one that's going to get the necessary rockets for us to knock out the necessary achievements. Later on, we can scale things up if needs be. This whole system is not going to be too complicated. We're at the top here, we're going to have a steam turbine. Steam turbine is going to be deleting all the heat. Just below that for the utilities, though, we're going to have aquatuners. A couple of steel aquatuners right here and here. Their job will be to, well, remove the heat, I suppose, and extract the heat from here and here. And this will be our oxygen and hydrogen rooms separate at the bottom. And that should be it. Well, there'll be a bunch of automation, piping, temperature controls, and a whole bunch of other stuff, but that's the bare bones basics of what we're aiming for here. There we go. So straightforward. Oh my god. This is the piping. We're going to have just the supercoolant going around and around and around, cooling down both of these areas. They're effectively mirrored. So you'll notice that this liquid pump is, say, 2 tiles away from the edge, and this one is 2 tiles away from the edge. We could fill one of these with oxygen, one of them with hydrogen, and that will be what we're doing. I just haven't decided which one. I think the closer one will probably be the oxygen one, and the further away one will be the hydrogen. Just so that, well, the oxygen tank's up there. Or we could actually... That might be a smart idea. If we take the oxygen tank and move it to the bottom, that means we can use this one for the oxygen and then the closer one for the hydrogen, which is the one that's hardest to keep from, you know, busting itself. Alright, give me a few minutes while we get the basics in. Oh, yeah, there's another thing we got to do, and this is going to be expensive. We need to wall in the background here. Yep, that's going to cost us a lot of granite. Now, in the middle of this, I'm going to want to put in some temperature shift plates, but I'll cover that in a minute. Oh, yep, up here as well for the gas section. But down here for this, we want to use temperature shift plates. Now, normally, I'd use diamond, but we desperately need all that diamond for the drill cones for our rockets. So, I think for our temperature shift plates, we might just go with a metal. We have loads of cobalt and copper. I'm going to use one cobalt plate and one copper plate, just to see which one's better, and then decide which one we go with. Because of all of that power wiring we replaced, we've got lots more metal than we normally would have. I even went around and replaced most of the conductive wires with lead as well. So now we have about 30 tons of cobalt and 30 tons of copper. So I'm thinking the cobalt is probably what we're going to put in there, but give us a few minutes. Cobalt has a thermal conductivity of 100, copper only has 60, so bye-bye copper. We're going to replace everything in here with cobalt, just because we have enough of it to do it, and it doesn't actually cripple us. There we go. I've normally used diamond, so that feels incredibly weird to do, but hey, needs must as the devil drives. Now, oh, and we need to put in some background plating up here. Otherwise, we're going to have problems with all the steam we're going to put in there falling out into the background of space. Before we go sealing this whole thing up, we might want to put in some automation. We need an automation sensor here, a liquid pipe thermal sensor, to make sure that we can detect what temperature the supercoolant is before it goes back into the thermal aqua tuner. Now, we could theoretically place that up here and do some wonky pipe movements, but you know what? I don't think it really matters that much. So long as we keep enough of a pool of oxygen in here or hydrogen to keep everything stable, we should be able to put them down here with no issues. I'm going to put some doors in these though, just in case we need to break back in and make some changes. It will cost us a lot of oxygen and hydrogen, but, you know, better to have the option to go in and replace it for some cost than have no options whatsoever. Oh, and power-wise, we are going to have to stick in a conductive plate right about there. You know what? Let's make it out of something that won't melt too easily, just in case something goes horrifyingly wrong. Our next step is to have all of this liquids rotate. Now, we have no ceramic, or very little, so what we're stuck doing is using insulated pipes made of igneous rock, which is not great. But hopefully the runs will be short enough we won't get too many broken pipes from, you know, hydrogen and oxygen turning to gas inside the pipes. We're going to get a bit of it, though. I can't see any way to avoid that. Up here, we're just filling this little area up with water. We'll probably put in about a ton all across the bottom. So that'll be 5 tons of water. That will give us lots of heat mass in there. Otherwise, well, when we turn this on at first, it might get a little bit toasty in there. While we're waiting for all of this water to fill, we do have to put in the power. Now, I've ran one power wire from down here, but we're also going to run, well, our main power spine up there. We just chuck that in there. We can use lead to get up at least partially. You'll notice I've even got some plastic ladders up that far. But then I think for the rest of it, we might want to go with something a little bit more robust. I have learned over many, many painful lessons, always use steel when dealing anywhere near rockets. So we are going to insulate this section off and put in a wall here to hopefully stop rocket exhaust. But still, there'll always be issues, so I'm going to put in steel wire all the way along this section just to make sure nothing happens. I really hope so, because this area here is made of radiant tile, and any heat getting in here would be bad, but at least we won't have the power wires melting if we've done this right. I think it's time we brought in all the raw resources now. We've got this all completed. We just need hydrogen, oxygen, and supercoolant. And the supercoolant we're going to just... well, we're going to dump it into a little pool here and pump it into the required loops. And then the gases themselves, we actually need to pressurize this steam turbine room so there's something to exchange temperature with. We also could have actually used a layer of liquid, but I'm going to use gas in this instance. So we're going to pump a bunch of hydrogen into that room from down here. So we've got a hydrogen tank. In fact, I've been stockpiling a few extra bits of hydrogen just so that we have enough to dump into the system early on. As well as that, we will also be cranking up hydrogen production, or, well, not burning off as much hydrogen as we currently are. We're instead going to use the hydrogen we've got coming in to make nothing but liquid hydrogen. Well, at least until we've got some full tanks to work with. Our supercoolant has been summoned. It will be along shortly if Chris ever gets here. Chris, come on, buddy. Perfect. Now that is going to get pumped into... Oh, wait. Yeah, I didn't actually plug it in now, did I? Well, don't worry. It will be plugged in shortly. There we go. So, that comes up here. We've already got the pipes pre-built. And we'll just dump that straight onto this cooling loop. Done. And that cooling loop is set to, if it's above, minus 190. So, you know, as long as it's anyway warm at all. And are we done? I think we are finished. So in that case, we can deconstruct that. This will annoyingly leave a little blob of granite in there, but I think we might be able to get back in and grab that out now. Come on. Come on. So once that's removed... Nope, granite came out the other side. That is perfect. We can then hook up this one as well. And maybe we want to slow down the supercoolant coming in. I just don't want to end up with a whole bunch of supercoolant here we're not going to be able to use. That might actually be too much. Oh, that's 400 kilos. That's definitely way too much, isn't it? You know what? We can stop that now. You're good. You're good. If we need any more, we'll grab you and put you to sweeps. All right, there we go. Perfection. Well, now that that's started, it's time to start pumping some hydrogen into the system. And this we can hook up there. Yeah, there we go. That hydrogen should come up here, go around, and start getting fed into the steam turbine. And at the same time, we're going to wait till the save finishes. We're also going to want to fill up this loop over here. This loop is basically a cooling loop that goes round and round in circles here, dragging chill from this section here, which is going to be the oxygen, up to the steam turbine to keep the steam turbine from overheating. We done? Yep. Beautiful. Perfect. I think we can get rid of that gas bridge right now. You can go. In fact, we can also get rid of that one. Then we can reverse this whole flow. In fact, you can just plug in there. How are you looking? Hydrogen's fine. We're going to want to pressure this up to about, I'll probably go with 3 or 4 kilos. It doesn't need to be 20 kilos, but I'd like at least a decent bit of pressure in there. Oh, wow. Have we... Oh, yep, we have completely emptied that hydrogen tank. Well, that was... it's a good thing we've stockpiled some more. In fact, I think... whatever's in that tank is all that's going into that area. The rest is going to go into actually producing liquid hydrogen for us, which we will get by plugging in there. Once the last of that hydrogen is in there, we can delete that section. Oop, hook those two up, and done. That means any more hydrogen that comes from down here will end up in that... will end up in our hydrogen tank, or liquid hydrogen tank. Oh, now we need oxygen. Damn it! Where am I going to get a kilo of oxygen per second? Because... we're going to have to build another electrolyzer system. I just realized we've got this down here producing us oxygen, but we're already consuming 2.1 kilos of the 3 kilos we're able to make, and the rest of it is going into oxide production, and I don't want to stall that out, so I think we're actually going to have to make a little electrolyzer system here. That is awkward. For this next bit, yeah, this is going to be incredibly dumb. Now, this here is an electrolyzer, this here is a gas pump at the bottom, and here's a gas pump at the top. The plan being, this one at the top is going to suck out the hydrogen, this one at the bottom is going to suck out the oxygen. And you'll notice, this is only a half kilo of oxygen. There's a reason for that. I've been looking at the numbers here. This is a liquid oxygen oxidizer tank, and it can hold 450 kilos. The hydrogen ones can hold 900, and it takes 2 900 kilo tanks to require 450. So that means we need 4 times as much hydrogen as we do oxygen. And we can't process more than 1 kilo of hydrogen per second, so that means a quarter of a kilo of oxygen is fine. This 500 grams we're getting per second should be more than sufficient to run our rocketry program, even though it is kind of skimpy. Now, this design I've never tested before. I'm just sort of making this one up on the fly. We got to put in some ladders so that people can get in and out of it, make a few changes here and there. Now that we've got the basics in place, we just have to hook up a few things. Namely, water. Gas pipes have already been done. This here is going to send the oxygen up there. Though, you know what? Let's stick on a big high-pressure gas vent right there. We want to make sure all the early gunk is filtered out. We don't want to accidentally put the wrong gases in the wrong tanks. And over here, all the hydrogen is going to get sucked out that way. And for water, we are going to depend on water from down here. We're going to use these 3 steam turbines to provide the water. Do we need to use 3 steam turbines? Probably not, but you know what? Let's give it a go. Why not? Ooh. How are we going to get it out of there? There's like 3 lines of liquids going right by each other. This makes things really confusing. We did have to do a little mopping, but we got our pipe through there. Then we'll just actually... We don't need insulated anymore. Regular piping should be fine. We'll pop it up here and we'll throw in a few liquid tanks. Might as well have a little bit of a backup storage for this thing. Say, ooh, steel? Yeah, why not? We've got plenty of steel at the moment, so let's just waste it so we have to panic later. Done. And done. Alright then. That should cover our water needs. Assuming we can keep the steam on in here, plus we're going to have, what, 15 tons of water in reserve? Should be fine. Just grand. After pumping in the water, we're starting to get a bit of oxygen at the bottom. We had to... This is set to 500. I tried 450 and it seems to be working, but I'm nervous about putting the wrong gas in the wrong area. And there we go. We've got the oxygen flowing into this section. Temperature-wise... Yeah, the whole place is getting chilled down. Now, it's going to do a little bit of pre-chilling, as in... The supercoolant's nice and cold, but the temperature shift plates, the drywall, and all of that oxygen that's flowing in here, not quite so chilly. So that stuff's coming in at, well, 31 for now, though I doubt it will last. Yeah, considering how hot the water we're putting in, I think most of that is just, yeah, these things were already cold to start. But that is definitely not going to last as long as we would like. Okay, with that done, I think we can start doing hydrogen now. Actually, we might want to start this flowing almost. No, let's give this a second. Let the oxygen build up for now. It looks like it's slowly but surely getting there, but we got 8 kilos of oxygen there, and we're flowing it in at about half a kilo, yeah? Half a kilo, perfect. Now we just got to get hydrogen flowing. That should be... Well, I kind of wanted to get the oxygen flowing first so that we could cool down the steam turbine. Yeah, the steam turbine's down to 1 degree. You know what? Let's get the hydrogen rolling. You connect to there, you connect to there, and that gets the small amount of hydrogen we have already collected going. Then we've got hydrogen that's coming up from down below. And you know what? Let's plug in these tanks as well. Yeah, these can all get fed back on. Though, yeah, I think I'm just going to have to reverse all those bridges, aren't I? There we go. Now those 3 tanks of hydrogen we stored up can all get, cycled round and up in here and go into some storage tanks, and then eventually get sent in here to get turned into liquid hydrogen. We've already locked the doors. Now we just have to wait until everything cools down. What the... Oh, yeah. What are you at? Well, you'll notice here, when I turn this off, it kind of stutters a bit. It doesn't move very quickly. Now, we could pull out 1 blob of liquid. That's the problem. There's 1 blob of supercoolant too much in there. But, no, once it's running smoothly, or once we've turned it on, it starts running at normal speed. So I'm okay with leaving that extra blob in there because this will be on most of the time. And the times that it's not on, well, who cares if it's moving a little bit slowly. So, yeah, we'll let that do its thing. And, there's our first pieces of liquid oxygen. Nice. It'll be a lot longer before we see any hydrogen, though. Oh my god. And how's this place looking? Minus 20. That's not good enough. You need to get down to about, minus 190 before this thing's going to be happy. So this could take a while. Alright, so what kind of side projects do we want to take care of while we're waiting for that? Oh, actually, yeah, that might be something... Down here, we have a whole bunch of hydrogen. Like, I mean, a lot of hydrogen that we're burning off. And the only reason it's been burned off is because that's been used to produce the oxygen. That's keeping our base oxygenated. I say we plug this whole thing into our main grid. So all we're going to do is run a power wire all the way from over here, all the way down here, through here, and into this section. Well, I'm not going to break this open until we've got the rest of the power wiring done. Also, we got to put in some bridges and rip some wires out here and there, but yeah, give us a couple of minutes. We're just about ready to plug this sucker in, though we do need to be aware this place is hot. Like 76 degrees hot. We've been keeping all of that heat trapped in there because it was just the nicest way to deal with it without having to do any cooling. But now some of that's going to escape. It's unfortunate, but it'll be fine. We can handle a little bit of heat down there, especially with everyone wearing suits now. So, now that it's connected to our main grid, that battery should never go down. In fact, we'll set this to 80, say 60. There we go. Now this will never turn on anymore. That means all of the hydrogen produced should go straight up to the top of the map. However, if the mains power does fail, these should kick in, though honestly that won't help us that much. But no, it'll be fine. Probably. We just sealed it up again to make sure that none of that heat can escape. But from now on, we should have huge quantities of hydrogen flowing up to the top of the map and going into our, well, either hydrogen storage or hydrogen production. How are you looking? Looking pretty good, actually. I've been popping around just keeping an eye on a few things on the side, and this is actually working pretty well. I had to turn down the temperature on this from 255 to 253, or minus 253. Reason being is if we'd say cranked it up to 255, we almost immediately start getting ice tubes forming. See? And some of them started sticking around. One of them even got to the size of about a kilo or so. So instead, I took it down to 253. Nope, wrong way. Sorry. 253, and well, we don't really have to worry too much right now because the hydrogen is coming in so slowly. It gets plenty of time to get turned into liquid. See, there, another chunk. But once it hits the ground and lands in the liquid, it starts slowly to convert back to a liquid again. So long as we keep the temperature there. Oxygen, clean as a whistle. Not a problem with it. I'm thinking next up we're going to have to refit a bunch of these rockets and start, well, going off mining again and exploring. But where was it? Ah, yes, sleep wheat-wise. Our sleep wheat is actually flowing in quite nicely. We're up to 647,000 calories of berry sludge. Yes, very much so, yes. And a couple of things to note. One, we got our hands on... Where is it? Where did I put the sleep wheat? Ah, yes. Sleep wheat Leafy variety. We got a mutated version, I think, from over here, which was highly unusual, considering how low the rads are relative to the capacity of these things. 349 is not a lot of rads to get a mutation. But anyway, we got one. And Leafy is actually not that bad. You have to give it light, well, okay, a lot of light, but minus 50% of the life cycle, meaning they only take half as long to grow, as in 9 cycles instead of 18, and they take about 25% more fertilizer. However, you can't get mutated seeds out of them anymore, as far as I'm aware. So if we swap to all Leafy, we'll increase our production, like we'll double our output, but we won't have any chances of getting any more exuberant ones. And why is that plant halted because of body temperature? What the hell happened there? Water's coming in at 25, 25. What the? Alright, I think I've traced it back. It turns out all of our steam turbines are now nicely hot because this has glitched out. I've been warned about this, but I haven't seen it until now. If you place a liquid pipe thermal sensor on top of a pipe segment that feeds onto a bridge, sometimes it just doesn't work. Like, for example, now it's glitched out. It thinks it's seeing 23.6 degree water coming through, but that's actually almost 60 degree water. What we need to do is get rid of that bridge and replace it with just a regular insulated pipe. That should hopefully fix it and get things back to normal. Would you look at that? Flowing again nice and smoothly. Alright, give it a few minutes. I want to show you the difference between some of the different varieties we've got going on, but I don't think I'm switching over the sleep wheat just yet. I'm going to hold that and see if we can't get a few more mutations. But for now, we got to do some renovations here. For example, if we look inside this cargo rocket, it's actually an exploration rocket, so we're going to convert that back to exploration. This one was our science one, which we don't need anymore. We do need to do some more research out in space, but we can't use this rocket engine, and we can't transfer that over to our new rocket, so we're just going to refit this into doing cargo carrying. That looks like a much needed refit. Alright, get all of these up and running, and soon we... Hey, why is the top of that not moving? Oh, I haven't given the destination yet. After way too long, we finally got all these rockets loaded up and ready to go. Destinations chosen, everything. For example, in here we've got Zap. Now, Zap, it turns out, is an incredible pilot. They've got a piloting skill of 18 base. That's insane. I think flying around the galaxy, exploring everything is what made them so good at it. But you'll notice here they're still wearing their lead suit. Yeah, it got really confusing. Every time someone has to get assigned to a rocket, what I have to do is tell them, you're no longer allowed in and out through these docks. We'll have to bring them inside, get them to take off their lead suit, stop them from leaving through these 3 doors, and then allow them to leave through this door so that they can exit without an atmosphere. It was too annoying. We've got 1 dupe in here, 1 dupe in here, 3 in here, 3 in here. So that was 3, 6, 7, 8. That was 8 dupes we had to sort our lead for. That was way too much effort. I was not bothered. So instead, I've just let them go on board, and now I just have to remember when they come back that I have to get them to bring their lead suit back to the dock. Yeah, I'll probably remember that. Probably. Alright, those 2 are set up, and then we've got these ones in here. Now, you'll notice that they've got these storage bins at the back. This is 10 tons of steel, 5 tons of cobalt, 20 reed fiber, 10 tons of granite, and then about 3 Atmos suits, spare Atmos suits for them. And we're going to deconstruct all of those. Actually, there we go. We're going to deconstruct all of those. They're all made of granite. And once they're deconstructed, you know what? Why don't you unequip your lead suit? And you can unequip your lead suit. And you can unequip your lead suit. No, no, that's not a lead suit. Who? Done. All right. Don't be sneezing in here. All right, they'll get rid of all of that. We still have, what is it, 6 tons of oxalite here. They can sort that out. Then, last ship. We have 3 more people in here. Deconstruct all of these buildings. And then unequip all of their lead suits. There we go. 3 beds. Hey, Millington, go to bed. Jesus. Do I have to launch this ship before you guys decide that you can actually move into these things? Okay, enough faffing about. Here's what's happening. In fact, let's just launch them all. It will probably be simpler once they're launched to understand what's going on. And you... There we go. You guys gonna take off? There we go. God, they were a little bit slow. Now if we head out to the Stair Map, we can see we have the 2 rockets with 1 person in them. They're going over to the organic mass field and the swampy ore field to grab resources. Then we have this rocket here heading over to Heferato, and this rocket over here heading to Frostona. Now, the reason we're going to have Heferato is we want to get our hands on the gassy moo. We have to tame one of those for an achievement, and we have to grab one of the gas grass plants there to mutate that to get an achievement. And the reason we're going to Frostona is we need to get our hands on the Dash Assault Vine and the Nosh Sprout to knock out another achievement. So, let's see how long it takes us to travel there. While we're waiting for our rockets to reach their destinations, there's one quick thing I want to go over, and that is the different plants we've got going on. This is a mutated bristle blossom called Leafy. This variety requires plus 1,000 lux, but its life cycle takes half as long. So instead of taking 6 cycles to grow, it takes 3. Now, it does require a little bit more resources as well, like it uses 25% more water, but considering it grows in half the time, it's still a massive bonus. And as you see there, it's got a bunch of little leafy things on them. Alright, you can harvest that one now. Where were we? Then we've got your regular bristle blossom. This is what a regular bristle blossom looks like. You notice no leafy bits on that at all. And then we've got a couple of other plant variants over here. One is called Bountiful and one is called Exuberant. Now the exuberant ones, they just look darker, slightly uglier, but they grow 4 times as fast and they give off these sort of stink lines. Yep, that's them. And then we've got the Bountiful, of which... Oh, great. None of them are close. Okay, we'll be back with Bountiful in a moment. Well, looks like we're going to have to wait for a minute on those Bountifuls. The reason being, our rocket's about to arrive at Heferato. Whatever. The flying cow heifer thingies. We're going to have to drop 2 people down onto the planet and build ourselves a rocket silo. Now, if we have a quick look down, I've been eyeballing this place, and I think our best place to land would probably be over here. You dig in through this bleach stone down there. We even get some igneous rock close by, and as far as I'm aware, is there any metal around here? Nope, nothing. So making a door, we'll have to use the resources we brought with us. But I'm thinking right here is a good a plan as any. All our dupes are well rested. They're just out of bed. They have plenty of time to get everything done, and I'm thinking the first 2 people we're going to send down are Chris and Leonard. Now, I've been advised that if you assign them out and send them down, they should automatically pick up their atmosuits on the way down. So, Chris, why don't you mount up there and we're going to deploy you down. Where were we going to send you down? Yeah, over here is perfect. And then let's go back into the ship because we should be able to see them go down and actually put on their atmosuit. Perfect. In that case, we shall get Leonard down right behind you. Leonard, same thing again. You are going to go down over here. And back into view the ship to make sure this does work. We would really dislike for them to go down with no... What? Okay. Let's try that one more time. Come on. I don't think it likes it when you have 2 Trailblazer modules on the same ship. I think they interfere with each other. Alright, perfect. Then, we're back on Heferato, and we can deconstruct this. That should give us half the steel we need. Then, what's that things flying to the background? Are we about to get hit with meteors? That would be bad. Didn't really plan for meteors. Did a cow just fall out of the sky? It really felt like a space cow just flew down from the heavens and landed on the planet. Alright, that's... Not gonna have to admit, I did not see that coming. That was wholly unexpected. Alright, give me a minute while we put together some a rocket platform. Oops, may have slightly irradiated them, but, you know, I'm sure they will get over it. And now they can go grab their rad pills, which should hopefully make them a little bit healthier. Guys, you want to grab a rad pill? No? Come on, I had to change everyone's consumables. That's another thing you have to micromanage every time you put in the rocket is, hey everyone, you can eat rad pills, and also, hey everyone, you can eat berry sludge. You should all be set up to use those. Oh wow, they all are on rad pills, but there's that much radiation out there. What's it like out in this section? 312. Right. Okay, that would probably make sense. In that case, maybe a little bit of... Yeah, we can put a couple of blocks up there. We'll make it out of igneous rock. And then we'll just make sure our people stay, yeah, under those two tiles. Should be fine. Now all we need to do is grab a plant, tame a heifer, and get out of here. Oh, and grab those natural artifact things. We need to bring those back to study to knock out another achievement. I was trying to just build a quick ranch in here so we could get this sorted quickly, but the gassy moos just had to do what they wanted to do, didn't they? Just replace that there. Come on. Now that, once we delete that tile, should make sure that this room has a critter in it. There we go. There's one critter in there now, and that means there should be an errand here, and Leonard should come down to take care of it. Leonard? That's Leonard's on break. It could be. You never know. That should have to wander in there. Summon over the gassy moo, and we're just going to tame it right here. We have no intention of hanging around. We're just going to start the taming process and bugger off. Unless Leonard decides it's lunchtime and he's going to come back tomorrow and do it. Fine. Fine. You can do it tomorrow. God damn it. Also, we need to deconstruct that and put in a little power generator. Didn't bring enough glass to keep our battery going forever, so we're going to need to have someone running on the wheel inside to make sure that we can keep the lights on. Or, well, keep the atmosuit docks running. While the Heferato team take a break, we have another thing we need to take care of. The team around Frostona. That's right, we're going to do 2 places at the same time, because of course we are. Now let's have a quick look at this place before we choose a landing spot. This is the one with the radioactive crash satellite. I'm not sure we want to land too close to that. Looking around, we've got metal over here, so I'm thinking we land around this side. This gets us down, actually, we want to get down as deep as possible, but, well, we don't want to land in there. That would be bad. Actually, what's the radiation like? Yeah, let's not land in there. It's 187 rads outside, so I say we land down over here. Well, once they've all had a good nap, of course. Oh, never mind. We want to make sure we land at the very start of their shift, so we need to come back around this time, or just when it goes to nighttime. That should be fairly easy to achieve. How's everyone doing over here? Should be about time to start taming that gassy moo, and once the gassy moo is tamed, we'll recharge your batteries and get out of here. I think that's a gassy moo getting taken care of. That is one happy moo cow. Now, Leonard is one of our best ranchers, and when I say best, I mean their skills are 12, which, you know, that's pretty decent. However, since they are now groomed, that grooming will last 2.2 cycles, and their wildness is going to go down by 50% per cycle, which means in 2 cycles they'll be tamed. We don't even have to go back near them again, and we're done. So let's just grab some seeds and get everyone out of here. Oh, grab some seeds and those old x-rays. I think since everyone's up, let's maybe demolish the beds real quick. And we can put in all the storage stuff we need right here. Should I take a moment? We'll just put down 1 storage bin, get it to grab all the seeds, which should include all of the gas grass seeds. And then we'll put down these 2 pedestals and quickly chuck on the, whatever the things are called outside. The old x-ray, actually, and what was the other one? The other one was the Rubik's Cube. Perfect. That's everything loaded up. We have 4 gas grass seeds. Oh, the Buddy Bud seed is in there because I took it out of the Aeropot. It turns out Leonard has allergies and we didn't bring any allergy meds, so yeah, that had to go. But it's fine. We'll get rid of those, deconstruct these things in general, right there, and we can replace the beds. Then we can fly home. Finished. All right. How are we looking on power from the outside? Actually, it doesn't even matter, does it? We've got everything we need off this planet. Oh, wait, no, I never inspected the desk. Done. View entry. Stuff from HR. You know, someday I have to go through all of these notes and see what they say, because I know they've added... I used to read them at the start, but they've added a whole bunch since, and I think, is there anything worth exploring on this planet? No, I think we're good. There's probably... Oh, there's a vent there, but don't really want or care about anything here, so let's just leave. Rocket control center replaced. Let's go home. Yeah, we'll put you to grounded, actually, just so that when they land, they'll still act as grounded. And then we'll just launch the lot of you back. We did have to delete that little block there, but it's fine. It's fine. We're done. Everything finished. Yeah, we have plenty of fuel to make it home, and we got everything we wanted out of this planet. Thank you, Heffertan, or whatever your name is. Done. Now, if we check under schedules... Oh, God, no, I hit consumables. Why is it when every time I hit consumables, the whole map just freezes? Alright, yeah, the other boys are just about to come out of nap time, Brendan and Millington, so let's head over to the other planet, Frostona. Looks like everyone's awake and happy. Let's send down Millington first, I believe. They're our best build digger. Looking around, I'm definitely thinking this side. There's too much rads that side, so here seems safer. And let's just make sure we go inside the ship. I want to make sure they put on their suits before they leave. Good duplicant. Perfect. Then we'll get Brendan to follow them down. I'm thinking this should be fairly quick, and ooh, there's actually oxygen and everything down here. Though that's not what we're looking for. We're looking for a cold area. Okay, I was going to say we're looking for a cold area for nosh sprouts and dash of salt vines, but I don't see any of them here. That might have been a better idea, was to look for those first. I don't even know what those are. Okay, looks like we're going to be digging down then. Digging deep, deep, deep. This should only take a minute or so to get our rocket down. Hallelujah, part 1. We found a dash of salt vine. 1 unit right there. That is perfect. What we're doing is we're digging in here and we're digging into those little scratch marks. And you can't really see it there because it's gone to nighttime. But right there, there's a little scratch mark. There's also one over there. So we're going to dig through and find them. That seems to be where all the seeds might be located. There's more down here as well. Nice. Alright, so actually there's 1, 2, 3. So we're going to get those out. 4, 5. And we're hoping some of those are nosh sprouts. And wait. There's a nosh bean. Oh, this is a problem. Now that's fresh and refrigerated, but that's not good enough. The problem is that's going to go off at 3% a cycle. We need to get those back home before they expire. That would be bad. Oh, no, we'll worry about it in a minute. We're going to excavate out as much of this as we can, grab as many nosh sprouts and dash of salt vines as we can before we go. Well, this place is looking nicely cored out. We've managed to find 7 nosh beans and 5 dash of salt vines. Normally I would be on my way, but this planet is actually fairly chunky. I want to see if there's any artifacts lying around here that we should be investigating. So I think we're going to be digging down a bit more. Let me plan this out a little bit. There we go. We'll just dig straight down there and see if we can't see anything else. There's a couple of lockers in there, but I don't care too much. We can inspect them remotely, which is fine. That'll just add to our logs. But I don't really care if there's any clothing in them. We'll also dig straight down over here, see if we can't find anything, and we'll go straight through this side. But while all that's going on, back home we are planting, or was it gas grass? Now the problem with gas grass, it needs irrigation. You need to irrigate it with 500 grams of chlorine, which is a problem because we don't have 500 grams of chlorine. But that can be fixed. And as well as that, there is one other thing we need to put in, a sun lamp. Oh wait, that's not going to fit there. One of the downsides of this gas grass is it requires light. Lots and lots and lots of light. Where is it? If we look under the full database entry, it requires 20,000 lux. So this is a sun lamp. Normally you can get 20,000 lux on the surface of the planet, but that's not going to be happening here. We need to be as close as possible to all of these delicious rads, 2,700 rads to be precise. And then once we've stuck in this sun lamp here, it should now have enough light. What are you looking like? Actually, give me up the light overlay, it's probably simpler. Yes, 20,360, just barely, and one to the right of it. So you can actually plant gas grass 2 tiles to the left, 1 tile to the right, and done. Now all we got to do is make sure that thing gets chlorine. Unfortunately, chlorine is not that easy to come by unless you want to freeze down a bunch of it. Unless, over here you'll see chlorine just lying around on the ground. Reason being it's so cold over here, it's actually caused chlorine to form. There's even more over here. We just need to get this plant to mutate once, so we don't care. Otherwise, if we can't get it from the small amounts of chlorine we've got lying around the place, it's going to be really annoying. We'll have to, well, we might have to retrofit one of our cooling solutions. Probably, I would guess, this one. Or actually, we could bleed off some temperature from our oxygen supply. Actually, how is all that doing? Yeah, it's doing fine. Maybe a bit slow. We might have to bump up oxygen production. One thing I should probably point out to save you a bunch of time, I just discovered you can't grow a gas grass seed in a hydroponic style that's being fed water. You'll see here there's water coming in here and it's flowing into all of these tiles. Yeah, that won't work because it needs chlorine. So unless I swapped out the pipes for liquid chlorine, which would be very difficult, instead I just threw down a farm tile, and now I've got people actually dropping off chlorine manually by hand. Well, at some point they will. Seriously? Okay, you're going to drop micronutrient fertilizer. That's fine, but anyone want to show up with some chlorine? Anyone? Wait, there we go. There's some chlorine. Perfect. We now have a plant actually growing. Oh, and it got a grub. That's perfect. We want this thing to grow as quickly as possible. In fact, let's cancel all the other plants. We don't care about those right now. We just want to try and get a mutation out of this. Which reminds me, colony achievement. Where were you? Moving on up. Find and tame a gassy moo. Done. Now when it comes to Critter Whisperer, the only thing left is the shovel. Once we get the shovel, that's Critter Whisperer done as well. Still got to cool a building to 0. We can manage that. Maybe not just at this moment, though. Looking around here, we're actually pretty close. We have 4 more planets we have to land on, and then that's that one completed. We're about a quarter of the way to mine the gap, which we've just got about enough diamond that we won't need diamond anymore. We can just start sending our nuclear rockets back and forth at ridiculous speeds. We have to analyze a mutated dash assault vine, a gas grass, and a nosh sprout. We've now got our hands on all 3 of those seed types, though we still have to bring a couple home. Block a meteorite with a bunkered door. That one's actually not too bad. All we have to do to get that one is go to this planet. I think that's actually in range of a nuclear rocket as well. This one is the one that's got the meteors on it, and it should also have those critters, the shovels. So shovels and meteors will knock out 2 achievements with that one planet as well. And after that, there is totally tubular. I should really invest in this at some point, but we're actually kind of running low on power in our base, believe it or not. And then the last one here is Great Escape, which is, actually build a mini-pod on 5 colonies. Okay, that we can do. Open a temporal tear by finding the temporal tear opener. We've got to find that one and send a duplicate on a one-way mission to the furthest star destination. Those 2 we can get around to. And then there's Cosmic Archaeology. We're actually pretty close on those. And if you look here, we've found another artifact we can bring back for that one. So we're pretty close on a lot of fronts. But I am, of course, way over time. So I'm thinking next up, we're going to finish exploring this planet, see if we can't find a few more artifacts lying about the place. After that, we're going to want to make sure that this plant mutates. We're trying to mutate this plant as much as possible, so we're only going to grow this one plant, and, well, hopefully we don't run out of chlorine before we get a mutation out of it. There's definitely a bunch more lying around here, and we'll throw in a little bit extra we find. And finally, our hydrogen, liquid oxygen, has actually... We've got 1.7 tons of this stuff already in storage. In fact, it's rotating around if we check. Yep, it's flowing through those pipes quite nicely. And this is set so that there's like a 9 kilo flow. So what happens is this pumps out 10 kilos, and then 9 kilos gets let back in. So all the time we're adding 1 extra kilo to the tank. And it just means that this keeps slowly filling up this tank. The settings here on this are, if the pressure is under 255 kilos, or sorry, if it's, yes, if it's below 450 kilos, if it's below 450 kilos of liquid oxygen here, keep sending more oxygen in. Once all the oxygen, or once the this gets up to 450 kilos in height, we want this to stop putting in more oxygen. We don't want any more. That means we've got enough, that means the whole tank down here is full and we're good to go. So that shuts off the oxygen outside of here, so that none of the oxygen ends up behind that pipe. Because if it ends up back there, it ends up getting frozen, and then it breaks the pipe, and then we have to break in to fix it, which we don't want to. That's why we're stopping it outside. Unless they've changed something, gases in that final pipe segment can get frozen. Same over this side sort of thing, except we let it go up to 850 kilos before we shut it off. It's just to do with oxygen. Oxygen forms a new tile after it goes above 500 kilos. Hydrogen doesn't form a new tile until it hits a ton. So that means we're going to need a lot more hydrogen before we can start pumping it. Unfortunate, but nope. I'm way over time. I'm going to cut this out here. I hope you enjoyed, and good luck.